As far as I'm aware, the numerous things I've left online for over 10 years don't crop up in videos like this where you see a narcissistic reaction video. And I'm thankful for that, mind you. What I'm driving at is when you see a narcissistic reaction video or you hear TikTok noises, the token noises you can embed in a video on apps such as TikTok, it's the prime example of bullshit. You're probably being spoon fed bullshit. And if 5,230 people have shared this, it's probably propaganda to limiting degrees and or flat out propaganda. If there's 28,000 people who have clicked the heart sigil, that means this has traction on the DARPA internet in the age of censorship. Fascist, patently fascist, censorship. All censorship is fascism. And I almost said all fascism is censorship. They go hand in hand. And most people haven't figured that much out. This is on the Alkaline Juice Factory page, and it's nonsense. The other thing you could appreciate, and this is if people looked into things, but you don't hear it come up. The 16th century marks when our masters started actively conducting campaigns in place to befuddle the masses and get their ducks in a row. They started moving pieces on the chessboard, so to speak. They started actively subjugating the masses in an entirely different way. And it was slow going at first. It's been ramping up ever since, and it is moving at a ridiculous pace now. And people are still blissfully unaware of any of this, which is why 5,230 people have circulated this propaganda. I have left answers online that make perfect fucking sense if you think about them. Most people don't look up the videos I leave online, is my point. Most of you aren't going to look up the accounts. You're not going to run through what I left on here, the time and energy that I spent. And yet if you did, well, you would have something. Instead, this is circulated, this is convenient, this is entertainment, this is not research. If you look at the time frames, 1775, yeah? This is after the point that I highlighted. The 16th century marks when our masters started conducting active campaigns against the populace. This also jives with when, keep in mind, this is all ongoing, and it dates back to a time shortly before this, roughly enough. And one of the things I'll rattle off is, Galileo and, is it Copernicus? Is that the other one? Sometimes I mix them up in my head, plus I'm being really lazy with things. That's my excuse right now, and I think I have to sneeze. 1 second. It feels like I have to sneeze. I'll rattle off Galileo sometimes, who, lived during the Spanish Inquisition, but he was just put on house arrest. He wasn't murdered. And that makes a lot of sense, right? That checks out. And it's because he was also shopping around dog shit. Misleading dog shit. In other words, he worked for our masters. Most of the fucking characters that you were versed in, you're familiar with, did. That's why you know their names. This is not unlike, superficial presidents here in the States, who are all related by and large, and you know of their names because these are the fuckers that work for our masters, that do not serve the public. And most of you are probably lost because I jumped around a bit. In other words, you hear people say question everything, question authority, but people are not, in fact, doing either of those things, ever. Here's this stupid fucking video. 1 second.
This right here is the Bible from 1775 telling us at the time that we used to have 13 months. The first month of the year is March. Look at all the way to the end, guys. There's 13 months.
And I'll get back to that again. That's not wrong. That is true. March 21st marks the new year. It does. And you'll have some of these kids rattle off, April Fool's Day is the beginning of the year, blah, 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 da, da, da. You could look at it that way, but technically March 21st is the new year. So March 22nd is the first day of the fucking calendar cycle. And this doesn't come up, usually. This is being circulated because it is fucking propaganda. There are not 13 months. I left a video online not too long ago explaining this to you guys. If you see this, are you going to look that up? Can you find that? Are you willing to put in the time to do so? Are you truly fucking interested? Because this is propaganda. What I could teach you isn't. That's why I'm censored on the fucking DARPA internet. It's why I have no traction.
Bible from 1775 telling us at the time that we used to have 13 months. The first month of the year is March. Look at all the way to the end, guys. There's 13 months. 13 months. First day of the week, Sunday. Second day, Monday. Look at that. Seventh day or Sabbath, Saturday. This is the proof right here. One of the things Constantine did was because he wanted the pagans to worship God, Jehovah, was he moved the day of worship to the day of the sun, which is why we now worship on Sunday. Because Sunday became a pagan day. Well, another thing Constantine did was move the day of Jesus' birth to December, because Tammuz died on December 23rd. And it was believed, because Nimrod, his father, was a hunter, it was believed that Nimrod would be reborn in his son Tammuz. And his son Tammuz's birthday was December 25th. And what you would do on Tammuz's birthday was you would set up a tree. Deuteronomy 16:21. You shall not plant for yourself any tree as a wooden image near the... So this right here.
I'm so glad this Muppet in the bottom right is pointing at the screen. There's bits and pieces towards the end that reflect reality and other bits that are still fucked and then some. But people aren't going to be able to figure it out, most likely. Because you aren't being spoon-fed these things. And you can't Google them. People don't understand these things because they're not thinking about them. If you want to look up those other videos, you can find the accounts and you can watch the videos. But most of you aren't going to do that now, are you?